Wow, that was really something.
I should mention that was written by Kate Wolf. Beautiful song.
Yes, and brought to us by Martha Powers. Blue Boat Home, Martha Powers. Earth Care Month, all through April, is Martha Powers. That wonderful meditation, Martha Powers. I love the idea of going back to when we were seeds and we were planning on, how we were going to bloom in this lifetime. And it's time to wake up to that and start to bloom just the way that you had planned in your heart and soul. If you're feeling really perfect and like passionate and comfortable with where you're at, this is you fulfilling your mission. This is you fulfilling everything that you came here to fulfill. Can you turn this down just a little bit, please? Our annual Earth Day celebration. It's time to focus on healing our relationship with the earth. We all have a relationship with our environment around us, and it's really important to be mindful and pay attention to how we interact with everything. Yesterday we were out raking leaves and digging in the dirt and planting trees and planting flowers and transplanting things, and by the end of the day, Lily said, "You look so happy." Was so amazing how it affects you to really interact, to be in touch, and to honor the sacredness of your relationship with the earth. So this is our opportunity right now as a human species to heal our relationship with the earth, to wake up to our oneness with all living things, and honor that interdependence that we have with everything that makes up this great web of life. Everything is part of us. And it's an amazing thing to think that how far we've separated ourselves from, say, a creature like the whale. But when you go out, on a boat, you go out on a whale watch or something, and you see them up close. They love to interact with you. They love to communicate with you. Everything wants to communicate with you because inherently everything in nature knows what it is except the human being. Somehow we've forgotten who we are. And so waking up to who we are is really important. I often make the statement that every problem facing humanity, every problem we've ever had, ever perceived now, or ever will have is the result of our false sense of separation from one another, from God, and from the natural environment, from the earth and everything in it. We have a sense that, even that Bible scripture, throw that away. We have dominion over the earth. That's an old concept. That you can twist it and flip it in any way you want, but just toss it out. We are one with the earth. We don't need dominion over anything. There's no hierarchy of life forms. The life force flows through us and through the lily as much as anything else, through the ant and the cockroach, through the tree and the elephant and the whale and the wind and the water. The life force is flowing through us the same way. We're all one and part of that. And it's not enough to say that it's a bunch of separate things that are connected by this vibrating waves of energy. It's not like that at all. We're one thing, one organism that's vibrating together as one. The idea that, our whole thought system is based on, the idea of separation, is what has led to every problem that we've ever faced. Friday night we watched a wonderful film. Thank you, Martha. A Life on the Planet with David Attenborough, right here in our sanctuary. And it was a beautiful reminder of how interconnected and interdependent all life on this planet is, but also a stark reminder of how the human species has disrupted the balance of life. We've disrupted the balance of our own life. So much so that we are looking at a sixth mass extinction right now, caused by human activity. We say, oh, there's been extinctions before. Yeah, but you're the one that's going to be extinct. Unless you recover the balance of your relationship with the earth. Isn't that funny? It's an amazing thing. Well, there's been extinctions. Yeah, but now it's you. It's not the dinosaurs. Pretty funny. So, in the last 50 years alone, we've lost 2/3 of all living species on Earth. 2/3 in 50 years. Population decline among wildlife in some of the most biodiverse areas of the world, including South and Central America, have seen a 98% decrease in numbers. It doesn't mean they're all extinct, but the species that are with us, they're also decreasing and declining rapidly. In one 90-year lifetime, David Attenborough is alive on the planet, was telling us how it's changed just in his lifetime. And we have gone from wild spaces occupying 65% of the earth to less than 35% in his lifetime. I've seen a lot of change in my lifetime living on the Cape, growing up on the Cape. The amount of fish in the ocean, the rising sea levels, how warm it is sometimes. The water just doesn't feel right when you jump in the water and it's that warm on Cape Cod. It's supposed to be cold. That's what wakes you up. That's what makes it fun. I don't want to get too deep into all the aspects of the problem. I want to focus on the solution, because many people think we need to wake up to all these problems that are going on. But no, I feel that we need to wake up to our oneness with all living things and restore balance between ourselves, personally, and the earth, and everyone around us, treating everyone as a sacred part of God and everything. It was amazing to be digging in the earth and doing that yesterday and feeling how it's all blessing me. Feeling how the tree and the flower, everything was blessing me. I guess that's where the idea of dominion came in, is that everything in the universe is blessing you. Everything. But that's because everything is you. Everything is God. Everything is love. Everything is light. But when we break it into other pieces and make it something else, it loses that distinction for us. It becomes something that's separate and temporary and therefore not as valuable. The root of the problem, if the root of our problem, just suppose it is our false sense of separation from one another, from God and the natural world, then the solution obviously is going to be to return to the awareness of our oneness with all living things. It's a consciousness problem. That's what it is. It's just a matter of changing our minds about our relationship with one another and with the earth. And how much fun and joy do I find in relating to everyone and everything as if they are a sacred part of me, as if they are God. It is so amazing. It is the one thing that's changed my life is to feel one with everything in the universe. It's not enough, as I said before, that we see a bunch of separate things and then all those separate things are somehow one or connected. We have to go much deeper. It's much more powerful to see everything as one living organism. We're part of this organism. I often say enlightenment happens when the wave realizes it's the ocean. The drop of water realizes it's actually this whole big, huge ocean. There are no separate drops or separate waves apart from the ocean. Same with us. There are no separate people apart from the whole. It's just we don't have to pay attention to that anymore. We can change our minds and relate to everything as if it is one. We can do that. It's just a matter of choice. That's all it is. You want to heal the division and the hate in this country? Then do that. If you want to heal the planet, then do that. That's the only thing we need to do, is focus on our oneness with everything. Focus on it, meditate on it, pray on it, and make the choice to act upon it. This guy, Hubert Reeves, I found out was a really brilliant physicist from Canada. And this is what he said: man is the most insane species. He worships an invisible God and destroys a visible nature, unaware that this nature he is destroying is the God that he's worshiping. Isn't that amazing? So who are we attacking except ourselves? So the answer to all of this is not to worship God or nature, but to remember we're one with it. Live as if we are one with it. Now, we know it's impossible to destroy God or to destroy nature for that matter, but we can and are making our planet uninhabitable for humans, human life. Well, a lot of other species too, but eventually ourselves as well. So I apologize for having to inform you, but God itself is not concerned with what's going on here. Sorry, there's no concern for what's going on. God itself, the life force of the universe, does not care what form it shows up in. If it shows up as a tornado or a flood or anything else, it doesn't matter to the source of all life. If it shows up as a human or an elephant or an ant, it doesn't matter to the source of all life. If it shows up as a star or a black hole or a comet, what does that matter to the source of all life? You are responsible for yourself in this great web of life and responsible for what you experience. And you alone are in charge of your life and your relationship with the universe and with nature. You can't destroy nature. Nature's going to be fine. But you can make your environment very painful and uninhabitable for you and others. So it's up to us to make this work. It's up to us to act as if everything is one and not separate. It's up to us to make God personal for us, because in the grand scheme of things, it's impersonal and indiscriminate. See, God is both immanent within us and transcendent all around us. That relationship has to be a choice we make. Yeah, you can do it. You have to make the choice. We keep thinking, well, everything's going to just be all right. Yeah, everything's all right, but let me tell you that the source of all life does not care what form in which it shows up. It just is indiscriminate in that way. Yeah, I know. It's like, wow. Then what can I trust in? Trust that there is only love, that there is only light, that it's singular. That every problem I perceive is a result of my false perception that we are separate, that I'm separate from everything, separate from God. So that's how we begin to heal our insanity. You know, David Attenborough showed us all the ways in which we're devastating the natural world by simply poor planning and making mistakes. Didn't say everybody's evil, everybody's bad, everybody's sinful. He said it's just poor planning and you're making mistakes. It's human error. And he said we can turn it around if we just plan better. We make fewer mistakes and we work together to do that. It's that simple. But why don't we do it? Why don't we do it? Why are we still so divided? regarding the way forward as human beings. Why is it still so important that your opinion is better than mine, more important than mine, or more true than mine? I'll tell you right now, all my opinions are false. And so are yours. All of your opinions are false. Only reality is true. And reality is an experience of oneness that you can have. But the further observation of it is completely meaningless. It's an experience, an ongoing experience of that divine energy that's all around us. And you can have it and expand it in your mind and in your heart and expand this wonderful, beautiful seed of love that's within you, that's waiting to grow. You can expand that. You can do it. It's up to you to do it. Why don't we do it? Because we're too convinced that protecting our opinions, protecting our perceptions is more important than the truth. That separation is reality and oneness is but a dream. We need to turn that around. Oneness is reality. Separation is the dream. Einstein, wonderful. He was just a great observer of things. He observed that human beings have a task. There is a way to free ourselves. We free ourselves by widening the circle of our compassion to include all living creatures and the whole of nature and its beauty. But I want to go back and read the whole quote. A human being is part of the whole, called by us the universe. A part limited in space-time. This is how you perceive yourself, limited in space-time. He experiences himself, his thoughts, his feelings, as something separate from the rest. A kind of optical delusion of his consciousness. This delusion is a kind of prison for us, restricting us to our personal desires, our personal opinions, and to affection for a few persons nearest to us. We forget about all the rest. That's all. We're just in this prison. Our own personal desires and just a few people that we can agree with and we can like sometimes. Okay, so our task must be to free ourselves from this by widening our circle of compassion to include all living creatures and the whole of nature and its beauty. Now, this is the part that I've never read before. No one is able to achieve this completely, but the striving for such achievement is in itself a part of the liberation and a foundation for inner security. Now, you'll notice the whole world is trying to make you afraid and angry at somebody. What we want to do is increase our inner security. Perfect love will cast out that fear. And that's what Einstein is saying. If we include everyone in our circle of compassion, that's perfect love. That's going to cast out that fear, and it gives you a firm foundation for that inner security. Now you walk the world as the Christ. You walk the world as the light of the world. And you're free from the prison of the optical delusion of separateness. Just trying to free you from that optical delusion. And some people over here like me and some people over here don't. So I'm going to stick over with these few people here. That group gets smaller and smaller, by the way. When you do that, you want to widen your circle of compassion. You don't want to close it down. It's smaller and smaller. The easiest way to close it down is to get a group outside of yourself that you don't like. And then you only agree with those who also hate the same people you do. Common enemy, right? My friends only hate the same people I do. That group's going to get smaller and smaller and smaller. And your life, what does it look like? Oh my goodness. You walk around miserable all the time. Complaining. Want to know where those complaints come from? Right there. And it's all based, you guys, on our false sense of separation. It's so amazing to me. When you're going through something really devastating, go out and plant a tree. That's what we did yesterday. We planted a tree in the name of my nephew who passed away last week. 32 years old. Yeah, very sad for our family and very devastating. But you know what? By the end of the day, I felt really happy because I was in a relationship with him, in a relationship with the earth, a relationship with God, all at the same time. There's nowhere to go, guys, except to that relationship with the whole. When something is going on in our world right now, there's a lot of that sadness and devastation occurring. Needless death is happening all over the world. Not just in the human species, but in all kinds of species. Some we will never see again. That really gets to me, actually. It's amazing. You know, that picture of that whale. There's some right whales right now that we see, and we're blessed to be here on Cape Cod in the harbor. There's only how many left? 300? 350. And I think 200 of them were in Cape Cod Bay last week. Wow, I know. But 350 is not that many. That could be a species that we may never see again because we think they're separate from us. If something is going on with you, and I hope it is, actually, I hope you're aware of what's going on inside of you. Increase your relationship with the earth. Get out and walk in the woods. Jump in the ocean. I love the people that jump in the ocean January 1st. That'll wake you up. Just to remind you. Come on, you're part of this incredible creation. This is an amazing thing that when we start to see God in everything, Course in Miracles, God is in everything I see because God is in my mind. Yogi Bhajan said, if you don't see God in all, you won't see God at all. It's just on and on throughout all the spiritual and religious paths. That God is in everything, especially you, we want to say right now, because you've separated yourself from everything. It's not that you're giving the other person such a gift. You're giving yourself the gift of that recognition of oneness of God in you. So, in other words, we need a healing of our hearts and minds. We are insane. We are delusional when we approach life from the perspective of separation. We're just in that optical delusion of our consciousness. So it just so happens that the cure for this sickness is awakening. It's waking up to our oneness through forgiveness, through compassion, through love. Forgiveness, Marianne Williamson says, is the greatest contribution we have to healing the world. Next slide. Thank you. You guys are clairvoyant. Forgiveness is the greatest contribution to healing the world. Why? Because angry people can't create a peaceful planet. Makes sense, doesn't it? Next time you're angry, remind yourself, what do I want? Because I'm not going to create peace if I'm angry. So finding peace within ourselves, that's the first thing, right? That's the first step. Finding peace within myself. Finding peace often happens to me in nature. No matter what's going on. You know, I just say, I'm going to go for a walk now. I'm getting outside. And immediately something changes. I breathe the ocean air. I walk among the trees. I might find myself talking to the trees. Don't worry, I'm not talking to myself. I'm talking to the trees. Same thing. I find my oneness with the environment, then it's so much easier to extend that peace to all those around me. I start to breathe the air, and I realize that all things in this world share the same air. They share the same breath. The beasts, the tree, the man, it all shares the Spirit with all the life that it supports. Okay, when you breathe that air, it's not just you breathing. You know, the trees are breathing out, you're breathing in. You're breathing out, the trees are breathing in. It's all one thing. It's one organism. There's no separation. We've always known this. And so now, you know, science is helping to show us that the things that the native peoples experienced in their relationship with the earth is true. That it wasn't some kind of magic. It was their authentic experience. And I can tell you it's my authentic experience. Finding peace within yourself is the first step to bringing peace on earth. Last thing, black elk. Wonderful, native mystic. I love this guy. The first piece, which is the most important, is that which comes within the souls of people when they realize their relationship with the universe, their oneness with the universe. He says, you recognize your relationship with the universe and all its powers. And when you realize that at the center of the universe dwells the Great Spirit, you realize that that center is everywhere. It's within each and every one of us. Nice. You don't have to be a unity minister to say these things. It's a natural way of thinking. It's a natural way to experience things. You experience that peace within yourself and you realize that the Great Spirit is everywhere and that center is within you. You really are the center. You wanted to be the center of the universe? Well, you are. So I love you guys. Thank you for being here today. Thank you for changing your mind about your relationship with the earth. And let's make it more sacred. Let's remember that the first peace begins within us. And let's wake up to the fact that we are one. And that everything we do, everything we say, everything that we think is teaching all the universe. So teach only love, for that's what you are. Amen.
You have been watching the message from our Sunday celebration service here at Unity on Cape Cod, providing a positive path for spiritual living. Please join us every Sunday morning at 10 a.m. at 147 Walton Ave, Hyannis, Mass., and visit us online at unityoncapecod.org. This video was made possible in part through a grant from Unity Worldwide Ministries and the Templeton Foundation.